Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here with another Friday Reads. It's a little dark and stormy today. I normally record in this spot in our living room because it's nice and bright and there's plenty of light. But today it's as dark as night. I've tried to brighten things up, and I don't know if you can hear it, but there's thunder rolling through as I speak. So hopefully it won't get too noisy. So we are in the midst of the Big Book Summer Challenge. This is my annual challenge that I host every summer. And it's really simple. You set your own goals. So a big book is just anything with 400 or more pages. Some people just choose to read one during the summer. You've got from the end of May through early September. Other people choose 2 or 3. I like to pull a whole stack off my shelves so that I have lots of choices during the summer. So that's what I've been doing. If you want more information, or if you want to join the fun yourself, I will add the links below to my video about the Big Book Summer Challenge and the page on my blog where you can actually sign up. So I am in the midst of my Big Book Summer reading. And right now I am reading, I usually pick one classic in that stack of big books. And this year that is The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. I've heard great things about this from so many people over the years, including my husband, and I kept meaning to get to it. And I find that's really one of the great things about the Big Book Summer Challenge, because it gives you a little extra motivation to tackle some of those bigger books that maybe you've been putting off, that you do want to read, but you keep procrastinating on. So I am finally reading The Count of Monte Cristo. When I talked about it last week, I had only just started it. I am now, probably 2/3 of the way through. It's different than I expected, but I'm enjoying it very much. It's written with a really fast pace and a lot of plot twists, so it's very interesting. I'll tell you just the basics of the beginning of the story so that there are no spoilers. It begins with a young man named Edmond Dantès, who is only, I think, 19 as the story begins. He is the first mate on a ship owned by a wealthy ship owner named Morel. They're in France, and they're pulling into their home port of Marseille. They've been all over the Mediterranean. They're bringing back the goods that they went to pick up. And the captain died during this voyage. So Dante has actually been captaining the ship for the second half of it. And when he meets with the ship owner after disembarking, the ship owner's so happy with Dante's work and all that he's done that he promises him that when the ship leaves in another 3 months, he will be the new captain. There's one person who's not at all happy to hear this, and that is a man named Monsieur Danglars. He is the ship's accountant or purser, and he wanted the captaincy for himself, so he's very upset about this. Meanwhile, Dante goes on shore. First thing he does is visit his father, who he's got a great relationship with. And then he goes to visit his girlfriend, Mercedes. The two of them are completely in love. They're planning to get married. And in fact, now that Edmond is home, they decide to get married the very next day. So there's another person who's not very happy with Edmond. He's normally very well liked, but one of Mercedes' oldest friends and her cousin is Fernand, and he is actually in love with her. And he has asked her to marry him many, many times, and she has turned him down every time because she's in love with Edmond. So there are a couple of people that aren't completely happy with Edmond Dante, even though he's a great guy and is very well liked by most people. So the next day they are at their betrothal breakfast when suddenly the police come in and arrest Dante. He is taken off to, I don't know if it's a lawyer or a judge. I guess he's a judge. They use different terms because this is 1800s France. Now, this judge assures Edmond that that he will get him off because clearly he's been set up. He's been accused through an anonymous letter of being one of Napoleon's followers, which is against the law at the time. It's 1815. Napoleon has just been exiled, and the king is back on the throne. And so that anyone who's a follower of Napoleon, that's illegal, and they can be arrested. So the judge assures Edmond this will all be straightened out. But within a couple of hours, Edmond never sees that man again at the time, and he is taken to a prison, and not just any prison, but a prison on a remote island offshore. There is nothing on this island but the prison. And it's well known as a place where the worst criminals go and that no one escapes from. So that's how the story begins. No spoilers. There is a lot that happens. As I said, the plot is very twisty. A lot of unpredictable things happen. But the book, for the most part, and this is what surprised me, is a revenge tale. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't say more than that, but it's all about vengeance. And really horrible, awful vengeance. But it's interesting, it's well written, it's very fast paced. You always worry a little bit with classics that they might be a bit archaic in their language or hard to understand. Not at all. This is a very quick read for its size. The chapters are short and action-packed. There's a lot going on here. My only challenge, I would say, is keeping all the characters straight. But it's an excellent book, and I think everyone that told me to read it was right. So I'm enjoying it. That's The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Now, during the summer, I also listen to big books on audio. Yes, audiobooks count and ebooks count. Anything where the print edition is 400 or more pages. So I have chosen a YA novel. In print, it's 576 pages, and the audio is 17 hours. So this is definitely a big book. It's a fast-paced dystopian sci-fi novel. And I only just realized, I'm up to part 2 in the novel, and I've only just realized this is book 1 of 6 books. So I didn't realize that going in, but so far I'm enjoying it. Just gonna go with the flow. I don't know that I'll read the whole series because I don't read a lot of series. I should tell you what it is. The book is Gone by Michael Grant. And so apparently this first book and the rest of the series were first issued in 2008. And they were just re-released in 2021, all new editions. So I'm sure that's when it caught my eye and I downloaded the audio, was when it was re-released. One of the reviewers called it Lord of the Flies for the 21st century. So what happens in this novel? At the very beginning, a bunch of middle schoolers are in class. These are 8th or 9th graders. I guess they're 9th graders. So this is a school where middle school goes up to 9th grade. And so they're all about 14 years old. And all of a sudden, they're all in class. And in a single instant, all of the adults in the school disappear. And not just adults, but anyone 15 years old or older just disappears. There are a couple of older kids in the school too. They're gone, hence the title. So these kids have no idea what's going on. This is bizarre. It's unexplainable. They start wandering around their small town in coastal California to find out what's going on. So the main characters here are Sam Temple. He's the narrator. And his best friend Quinn. And the two of them love to surf. So Quinn is like the quintessential surfer dude. He is, super laid back, very unique style, just classic surfer dude kind of guy. Sam says he doesn't really fit into any of the cliques in school. He's smart, but he's not a brain. He loves to surf, but he's not really a surfer dude, etc. And they team up with a girl named Astrid, who's in their class. And Astrid is well known as the smartest kid in their 9th grade. She's already taking some AP classes and some college classes. She's super smart. So Sam's always had a crush on Astrid. And all of a sudden, because of this disaster, this crisis, they are banding together. So Sam and Quinn and Astrid visit each of their homes, and they do ascertain that their parents are gone. They've just disappeared. In the case of Astrid, she's very concerned about her younger brother, who has autism and is normally with her mom during the day. So her mom has disappeared. She can't find her brother. So the three of them go toward the center of town, an area called the Plaza, and all the kids are gathering there. So the novel is focusing on these 14-year-olds, but the crisis involves all the kids in the town, and many of them are too young to take care of themselves. So the daycare is suddenly left full of little kids and unattended. Homes and apartments are catching on fire because a parent was cooking on the stove and suddenly disappeared. So things are happening all over town. And Sam and Quinn and Astrid are trying to figure out what's going on, trying to find Astrid's little brother, and just trying to calm everyone down. Sam actually has some natural leadership. He thinks that he's not popular or well-known, but the kids kind of gravitate towards him. So that's all that's happened so far. I'm only in part 2. I think there's like 17 parts to this. But it is already a gripping, engrossing story. I'm fully immersed in it, and I can't wait to see what happens next. So that's Gone by Michael Grant. And Stephen King said this was a driving torrential narrative. So that's high praise indeed from the king of fast-paced narratives. So I'm enjoying this so far, Gone by Michael Grant. I'm going to leave you with a little treat. Many of you know that I love the outdoors and have told me that you enjoy my outdoor photos and videos. So I'm just going to add a few little clips and a few photos here at the end of our recent camping trip. My husband and I are caring for his elderly father-in-law. He's 97. He's in a local nursing home, but his dementia is really severe, so we try to visit every day. So we haven't really been able to travel or get away much. So once in a while, we try to take a little 2-day camping trip. We've got a pop-up camper, which you'll see in the photos and video. And we did that this week. Went to a beautiful state park in neighboring Pennsylvania called French Creek State Park. So that's in southeastern Pennsylvania. I hope you enjoy these very peaceful, calming scenes of nature. Oh, and I almost forgot. Please let me know in the comments down below what you're reading this week. Are you planning to join the Big Book Summer? What book are you going to read this weekend? Let me know in the comments below. Here we are at French Creek State Park in southeastern Pennsylvania. This beautiful little lake is Scott's Run Lake. It's just, it's got a dam over on this end. A lot of people out fishing today. And we are just here for a couple of days trying to fit in one last camping trip before it gets too hot, although it's already pretty hot. It's actually very nice sitting here with the cool breeze coming off the water. But the walk up here was pretty sweaty. And it's time for us to head back down. And now we've hiked back down to Hopewell Lake, which is the larger lake in this park. They're both created by dams. I don't know how well you can see it, but in the foreground, just past the cloud reflections, all that green out there with dots of pink, those are all lily pads, all in full bloom, just covered with pink flowers. I've never seen so many in one spot before. It's pretty amazing. And as you can see, very peaceful here. A lot of people out in canoes, kayaks, paddleboards. So over on this side, you can see the flowering lily pads better. They just go on and on and on. When we first got here, we couldn't figure out from the parking lot what all those pink dots were. Ah, it's beautiful. We did not bring our kayaks this time, but this is a really nice lake to kayak on. And here we are back at our campsite. That's our nice pop-up camper. It's, let's see, 24 years old, but still hanging in there. It is a little hotter than we expected this weekend, but the humidity's coming down, so that's helping. And as you can see, we've got a lot of beautiful shade here. Gonna go set up my lounge chair and read in the shade in a minute. And this is an electric site, which we often don't get, so we can run the fans, so that helps. And it's actually turning into a really pleasant day, which is surprising me, because the forecast when we came in yesterday wasn't looking so good. I just love being out here, where I'm spending all my time outdoors and surrounded by bird song. It's just really peaceful and relaxing.